Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to continue the series of rugby tips based on your position, and today we're going to be looking at tight head prop. So the first thing I want to just talk about shortly is kind of the whole idea of what a tight head prop is expected to do on the pitch and what the role kind of consists about. Before I get started, obviously you've got loose head prop, you've got tight head prop, and I was thinking maybe in the future to do a comparison video so you guys kind of have a good idea of whether you want to be a loose head or a tight head going forward if you're a bit unsure. But with that being said, let's look at tight head prop today. So as a tight head prop, I'd say a really important job for you is to be the anchor in the scrum. Being strong, having a good core, and being able to, be an anchor is very important in the scrum, because if you're unable to, be strong and confident within the scrum, it's going to affect the momentum and the way your teams are going to generally play. Because if you're giving away penalties, it's going to make it hard for your team to get any momentum and actually get points on the board. And coercively, if you're losing these penalties and scrums in your own 22, then the opposition can, capitalise on that through penalty counts, getting points through the posts, or, capitalising and scoring tries. So we want to make sure that we've got a really good scrum and that we're really strong and confident with it. Because I'd say being a tight head prop, you need to have a lot of confidence in the scrum and almost, take that as the time for you to shine. As well as scrummaging, you've also got set pieces. You got your line out lifting. Very important that you can get this right, as I said before, it affects the momentum and the way your team can play, and ultimately affects whether you can get points on the board or not. And then alongside with that is you're still expected to tackle, ruck, and make those effective passes all around the park. So with that being said, your fitness needs to be top tier as well. So in terms of my tips for you guys watching this video, wanting to be a tight head prop, or you are a tight head prop, just wanted to get better, I'd say the first thing is looking at your fitness. Fitness is very important, even for a tight head prop. You got to be able to get around the park and not be out of breath, and get involved in as many phases as you can, because ultimately that's what's going to give you the most impact as a player. I'd say if you're someone who's generally unfit, just try and build up your fitness gradually. Don't do anything crazy to start off with. You've got to build it up in blocks. So start off by just doing some light jogging. If you're not fit enough to continuously do, like, for example, 5k run, continuously break it up into sections. So you can do, for example, 1 kilometer and then take a 2-minute walk, 1 kilometer, 2-minute walk if you need to, and then gradually build up the intensity as the weeks go by to build up a good foundation of fitness. And then from there, I'd recommend start doing some broken broncos, some short runs, really to bring up the intensity and improve your cardiovascular endurance. Because if you can have, the fitness and stamina to keep going after, all those forward set pieces I mentioned, the scrums, the lineouts, the mauls, the rucks, and you can do that all around the park, you're going to find it a lot easier and a lot more beneficial to make an impact on game day. Next thing I'd say is ball carrying. Being a tight head prop, you are almost expected to make an impact when you get the ball in your hands and you're attacking. I'd say when you're carrying, you want to look to draw in at least 2 or 3 defenders to get you down. And this is really important, because if you have that ability, it's going to make the lives of your fellow teammates, and especially the backs, a lot easier. Because if you're able to suck in 2 or 3 players in one phase just to tackle you and get you down to the floor, that means that there's a space somewhere along the line of the opposition's defence where there's a gap. And if your team is able to, recycle the ball quickly enough and make use of the territory that you've gained through your carries, you'll hopefully be able to score points through the backs. So being able to be a strong ball carrier is very important, and I think it's something that a lot of props kind of undervalue. You've got the size, you've got the strength, you need to really utilise it. So I'd say by that, just learn how to carry strong. You want to, especially off a slow ball as well, you want to be able to, take command, talk really loudly, communicate well, and you don't want to be static off the line. You want to try and gather some momentum, a bit like what you see the players in rugby league do. Try and do that, because the more momentum you can carry with your body weight, the more impact you're going to have going into a carry, and the more dominant and successful you're going to be. And then the final thing I would like to say is just be physical. You're a forward, you've got the size, you've got the strength, and I think the best tight head props really use that to their advantage. I think being able to be dominant physically, and as the game goes on, being able to just physically wear down opposition is very important, and being smart as well in the way that you play. Being able to, you know, secure the ball. It's not always about, you know, going for a counter ruck and, you know, winning the ball. Sometimes it's just getting around the park and being able to, you know, be the first one there to a breakdown, securing the ball and ensuring fast ball play for your team. That's what really swings the momentum for a lot of teams, and the best tight head props are able to do this, getting around the park and, you know, actually being a useful player. Because back when I was maybe back in school, I'm talking like maybe 10 years ago, when you were expected just to, you know, be kind of a big force and a big weight on the pitch. It's changed completely. You got to be able to get around the park, be involved in those fast tempo plays, and if you're able to do this, then you're really going to sell yourself as a effective and a really high level, highly skilled tight head prop. So with that being said, guys, I hope you found this video useful. I hope you've learned something new, and please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to upload as frequently as I can, and I'm just trying to help everyone who watches these videos. So with that being said, have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you.